interact with exactly the data the way we want to actually be formatting them and accessing them. So here I will go by start by Python manage.py start app, and I will call this app API because they are the one exactly we are creating. And then so after this part I will go by actually installing this application in setting, and this application I will go in full stack and I go in setting, as you see right here in setting of my project, and I will go right here and make sure that exactly I have sorry for this. Okay, I go right here and I'll make sure that I have set my API app. It's also one of the application that is registered in my project of Django. And another thing I have to make sure, because I am using course headers, these course headers actually they are the one that is helping with all that is allowing a request from my front-end part. I will have also to make sure they are also being listened as the application that I have here. I will also add course headers, and also I will add again a REST framework, because exactly we will have to make sure that our REST framework, which is for building REST API easily, is being listened as one of the application that we have. So actually, let me name it like this. This is for local, and another three, it is for third party. Just make sure that everything is being understood step by step. And the reason why I made this is because these are the third party the dependence that I have installed, and this dependence will help me in those all things I have passed through saying. And also this my local application app for my project I have created. It will help me to deal with all of those actually actions that I will need to make. And then let's go and also see how we have exactly to allow our course header, because we will need an access to the front end to be able to how to send a request to our backend. We have to enable the course header middleware to allow this operation to start to work. So how do we make this? We will have first to go down also where we can see a middleware. This middleware actually they will be the one that will allow our front-end part exactly to send a request. Course middleware. So this will be course headers dot middleware course middleware. Yeah, like this. Yeah, that is how exactly we have to say this will be course middleware, like this. So then this is exactly we have mentioned our course middleware to be understandable for our application. And lastly, the thing I have to do right here, I have also to allow this course or origin to be allowed. When I mean all origin, it means all exactly where that will be passed through to be accessing this middleware. So this is to allow all origin for development part to actually be allowed. So I will have here to make this course allow origin, and this course allow origins space, cause allow, I have forgotten all, cause allow all origins, this will be to true. Then here we are good to go. So after this part, we will have to create, because here we have allowed exactly our course. Here our front end will be able to send the request because we have allowed them, and then we are going to see how we can create our simple model for our application. Our application will not be a big application. We will start by small parts, and here in our API I will go to the model on this part, and I will start by creating my small model. Let me call it product, and in my product I have more arguments, models dot model, and in this product I will have to mention like exactly the field that I want name. This name will have model type, which is car field, and this car field, it will have maximum length. This maximum length will be equal to 200, and this is for the product name. And another thing is for description, because we will need a description for our product. Here we have models dot text field, and this is for the detailed description. Another one is for price. This price will have also model, which will be decimal, because price must be decimal field, and this decimal field I must make sure that I have like put some maximum length, digits, which will be equal to 10. Right now I need only to be 10, and the decimal places to be 2. So here, this is the actual price for my product, because it will accept only 10 digits, and also decimal places will only be 2. Yes, and then let's set actually the term that will be created. We have also to make models dot date time field, and this date time field we have auto. Now this will actually be added right the time when the data is being saved, which will be, normally we know this as auto timestamp. Okay, we have name, we have description, you have price, and also we have create at, which will actually hold our date. So after this we have to define string. This will actually be the name that will be shown while accessing the data. Return self, and I will only need name for this part. Okay, good. So by actually making a simple explanation, this creates a product table in the database, and also we have these different fields, and this different field we also have a different data type. Normally when you are dealing with the data that will be inserted into the database, because we have cars, we have text fields, and also we have decimal and date time field. And this auto now add true automatically set created at when product is created. Yes, and so after this part we will have to jump to the part where we will be dealing with our serializer. This serializer converts model instances into JSON and vice versa, exactly, because this is what we will be that will help us actually to make our data in the format that we will need. So by creating this serializer, the step to create it, we will have to first create its file in our API, and this file will be called serializers.py. Actually, I have make it. Okay, let me delete this. Alright, so let me make sure that it's being created inside the app. Okay, serializers.py, and these serializers, the way we have to create it, we have first make sure we have our class model, which is product serializers, and in our product serializer we have an argument of serializers and model, which will be for serializer. Alright, so on this part we haven't yet import our serializer in our module, so here we have to first import it. We go to the from REST framework, import serializers like this. So after importing our serializers, we have also to make sure that we will first set up our class method that will hold our model, which is actually named product. So we have make our method. This method will have our model, and this model will be product. And then because we need to access this model, we have to actually mention our models. Then we import exactly our product model that we have created earlier. After this part, we have exactly to mention the field that we will be needing. So fields, actually right now we need all fields because we do not need like a partial of them. We need all fields, so including all because it will be included in the API response, so we need to actually to include every single field that we will be wanting to show the data. So this serializer converts the Django models to JSON and vice versa. So after this part of serializer, let's go by actually creating our view. So this part of view, actually that's where we will see exactly how we can make our code operation. So right now we will not do like things which is very complicated, because Django made an easier way to make a code operation by actually using view set by model view set, which is exactly gives a code API endpoints automatically by list create, retrieve, update, and delete. So without delaying, let's just go to our view and create our view that we want. So here we will go by exactly first create our product view set, and this product view set we have a model of view sets, and this view set exactly it will come from our, let me first make sure that this is clean because I don't want to do any render. We will make sure that it's coming from our framework. So import view sets. So view sets, and in view set actually we want model view set. And then after this we have to query set our product, because we need to extract all data that we need from our we have first to extract data that we need from our product model, and by this I will also import my product model. Just like this, and also after importing product model I make sure that it is being accessed right here, because if I don't import it, it will cause some errors because it will not be actually finding it. And another thing I have to make sure, because I have made a set of different fields that I have created, and I want to make sure that whenever my API is being called, it will order my data by created that, because remember we have field that we have named created that, and this one we will have to do order by, because you have to provide order, and this order we will do it by created by. Actually this field we have created here, create by, so not created, because let me try to see, it must be created, not create. Nice, like this, because I have to make sure that they are all the same, like this. Nice. So because here it will actually first display the latest first data that have been pushed, and then so we are not done yet. Let's first also again actually make our serializer that will convert our this serializer will convert our data into Johnson. This is how exactly we make it. Product serializer, just like this. This is how exactly we set our view for serializer. This exactly will provide or will give us a CRUD API endpoint automatically by listing, because that's what it will actually be providing to us: listing, create, retrieve, and update and delete our data that we will be needing. So at this part you have to make what we call routes, and these routes exactly will be the one we will be dealing with when we want actually to access those data that we want. And this route, to make them, we will go to our URL. So we come here and we create our file. File will be named url.py because we don't have it. So this file.url, we will have to create router. This router will have routers.default router, and to make sure that our router is imported, as usual we have to do from REST framework import routers, like this. So after we import our routers, and then the next we have to make a registration for our router. So we do router.register, and this register must come with products like this, and we have to make sure that it is bringing our product view set like this, and we have to import our product view set views from import dot view set, just like this, because let's also check if there is no mistake. Okay, view set. Nice. So this one, actually after registering this part, it will give us router just like this, our endpoint. It will be looking like this: API products, just like this. And so we are not done yet. So here we will have to create our URL patterns, and this URL patterns will be the one that will include our router we have here. So let's make it then. We will make URL patterns which will hold the path, and this path it will have actually to be empty, and we have to include our router dot URLs like this. And I must make sure that my path and include are also exactly imported. Import path and include, just like this. So here our router register, we auto create routers for product code. Then let's connect API URL to main project, because here we haven't yet connected them. So we will go to our main project, which is full stack backend. We go to our URL as you see right here, and on this part we will have to make path for our API, and our API that we need to access we have include, which we actually have to include right here. And this include, it will hold our API dot URLs like this, which means on this part it will hold all API routes just like this. So after we have done this, so far we are clean with our code. We are not missing anything related to setup of our project for Django. Let's go and run migration to make file for migration, and first we are going to make migration to make sure that our migration file is created, and then migrate by exactly affecting our data that will be our database that will be holding our data. So we do Python manage.py make migrations like this. So here we have an error where they say text field. So when we go back to our model, you can see here we have some error. It must be in capital letter, not small letter. Okay, it's fixed. Right. Here we do again Python. Like this, Python migrate. Alright, they say objects. I also have error on object, which is on view. So on this part they are saying that this shouldn't be all capital O, it must be like in small letter O. Okay, nice. So and we go again. Oh, I still see that we have some errors again. This is on which line? Look upon. So there is can resolve keyword created by into field. Choose are created by. So cannot resolve keyword created by. So here there is a problem of keyword, which is created by, created at. So let's just see on our model created at And in our serializer, let me just see where is it. We have created that. Okay, and then in our view, yes, it's in our view, it's created at, not by, like this. Nice. And we have a problem of serializer class. So you go to view, say serializer. Oh wow, we didn't import our serializer, so we'll have to come here and from the serializer import product serializer, like this. Nice. So after this part, we go again and check. Now we are good to go. We have created our API migration file. So after creating our API migration file, we have then to make our migrate. Now we are good to go. There is admin, there is API, there is all, there is content type session. Everything is set for us. So on this part, we are good to go. And let us be clear that we have exactly created our API table. So by this, Python has a Django administrator. Let's first create that Django administrator to help us exactly to review our data in our dashboard. So we will go by creating our admin user, and manage create super user like this, and I want to make sure it has my name, my skin, and address. Let me just put my and then password. So let me make it simple. Now we are good to go. And then after creating our user, we have again to make sure we have made our registration of our application, I mean our model in site register. So by this you have to do admin.register.site register, and here what we will be registering, because our model is not yet being listened by our admin, we have first to import our model. This our model will be product model, and this product model will be the one that we register in our admin. So after this, we will have to run our project python manage.py run server. So they still say there is an issue. So admin site register, everything's good. Models, okay, everything also here is good. So why are we having this kind of error? They say could not be loaded array import module. Okay, let's get internal. So why do we have this error? Django core exception import configure WSGI application full stack could not be loaded error import module. So there is a WSGI which is not being found. So line 30, 50, okay, no module, core header. So there is this module core header is not being found, so which means our system is not finding it, and this is suspicious. this is suspicious because I had to install Django course header, and it is showing that it is not listening to it. Is it because I had to, let me first check if I install, because I can see that I have already installed it, course header. Okay, it's already satisfied. And again, when I run my application, it is showing that it is not. Again, let me just see, because I must check why this is happening. No, not like this. Let me check view settings, because that's where how to check. I am having this kind of error. Because it must be course header, of course, because I have it right here, course headers, and it is showing that this course header is not installed. So check this one. Let's see. Environment, enter theme. So the video application module, no module course core header. Okay, let me just check again on my setting, because this is suspicious. How is being, oh, I see the mistake was right here. Nice. Let me refresh again. Alright guys, here we go. This was like a syntax error. We have actually made some kind of mistake in writing, which exactly you have also to figure out why that is exactly happening. So here we are good to go with our API, and let's just make like simple test using our let's just first test by using our administration and see if we have it. Because here, let me take the link to be using to access. Okay, see that it is having some error because we are accessing this API in our, and we don't actually need it. This will go to the admin, because right now I want to make sure it's admin. Okay, do login. Okay, let me just say save. Okay, we see here we have exactly our product that we needed, and in our product we can add like this, name, description, price, just like this, because the time you have auto now for the date, it will not be necessary to actually show that time. So because it is actually automated, it will be created whenever we create our product. Let me just say like laptop. This is just testing, and price, let me say $199, like to maybe. And if I enter, you will see that here it will be created successful. And if we check in our, we find out that you have created exactly laptop, description, and also price. So guys, here we are good to go. And the part that is more crucial we have also to test is when we are using Postman, because Postman will be one of the software that we'll be using mostly while testing our application to review everything. So okay, nice. So let's just move on and clean my fields have here. I just save. Need to make sure that everything is really saved. Okay, nice. So here I will go to my blank correction, in my blank correction, or maybe let me use template just to make things more quicker. Yes, let me just make a quick REST API basics. Alright, let me just make like this one, and I'm testing my API. So here I have get, post and update, and on this part let me first create my variable that I'll be needing. Okay, ID, okay, base URL, because right here I'm using this one, so I will replace it. Let me just replace it in the meantime, and I just save. And then on get API, because here I'm using get, so and let me make sure that also my environment is set well. Let me just say API like this, and this one API just like this. Alright, so when I come here I will just delete this one. Let me first see if I can view our products, and if I send my data, you see here we are getting exactly our data that we have saved, so which means our API is working well. So let me just do another test for, because here we can do post, we can do like whatever that we want. Let me do another test for post. So here we go by actually making products, and we go in our body, and in our body make sure that you have this. Alright, and by the ID I will make like 2 laptop. Let me make sure. Alright, because this is these are automatically created. Let me first test my original data that I have put in my database. So let me make like laptop 2, testing 2, and also here make it like 300. And we see if it will actually have some error, it will also prompt us that issue. Let's test our API. So as I was expecting, it has provided the error, and this error short is internal server error. And this internal server error, you call this URL via post, but URL doesn't end in slash. So which means you have products and URL doesn't end with slash, mean like slash like this. Yes. It was a simple mistake, exactly. A simple mistake which can cause a huge problem to your application. So here we are good to go with post. And then, so let's test about our put, because we need also to test about put. So we'll take our data that we have posted just now. we go to our update, and here we again just use our same products, the forward slash. We will come to our body, and this body we will need to make update. Let me just put, because it will be passing an ID of the product you want to update. Let me just say like 3 4, maybe 3 and 4, like this, just to make sure that we have like a different kind of, you know, datas that are not similar. You remove this, and whenever I just post, you can just test my API and see endpoint if they are working well. Right, boom, we see here we have our API. It's working well in our put without any kind of issues, and we will be also testing how delete works exactly. And our delete, we go again to here, our post, our get option, then here we will be having products, and we will mention what kind of ID we want to delete, because if we return to our product and we send the request, we find out that we have actually exactly two records right now. The first one is, okay, it is actually bringing me the order I have set early. If you remember, they created created art, which is actually allowing me to have this kind of order. And here I want to delete this latest one, this latest data, which has ID of 0. I will go back here, and when I just do send on this part, this send, you see it will provide 204, which means no content to send for this request. But if I come back and fetch my record, we find that my ID is actually deleted. So guys, this is the part where we end with our exactly Django API creation, and now we will be looking on how we have, okay, now we have our Django API ready. Now we will build the Next.js frontend to fetch, create, edit, and delete delete our task, which is actually the API we have created of product in real time. So here, let's first install our Next.js. So first we have to go to nextjs.org, to this platform. Exactly, this is the exact platform that you have to go in to make sure that you have find out. For me, I will be using the latest, this one. I'll be using the latest version for the Next, which is actually, now we are like on 15, if I remember. If they have improved it, yeah, we are on 15. Yeah, if they maybe in coming days they will even improve it to 16. Actually, it depends on the updates they do, the change of features, and also the routes, whatever. But right now we are not concerned about the version of Next.js we are working on, as long as it will provide everything we need to work on our front-end part. Here's where we will be dealing with most of the thing. So we go back to our code, we make sure that we clean our terminal, we close our tab for the files, because here we are going to be dealing with our we are going to be dealing with exactly our Next.js, which is front-end part. So here I will paste my creation, and on this part I want to make sure that I will give the name for my front end to be named as full stack front end, just like this, and I enter. So it takes a while to create this application. Actually, it's based on your network, but let me just see exactly how this is gonna take. So do I need TypeScript? Yes, for now I need TypeScript. Yes, you're linked actually for formatting well your code. Yes, I need it. TypeScript, yes, to make actually my life easier. I will not deal with CSS, but I will deal with its framework to make the design look better. And do I need source? For now I don't. And then app router, yes, I need them. And about turbo package, no, I don't need. And for import alias, yes, I need them. So, and then here I go and wait a little bit to make sure that my application for frontend is installed well. So guys, as you see here, also it has its own dependencies to make sure that it is running smoothly. It runs Tailwind. This is one of the front-end framework, CSS framework that is most used when developing to make life easy while making design. It is really fast and really, actually for me, I have had a little experience with this one. It's really helped me huge during my development because it makes everything easy for me. Because whatever person come to me and say which kind of framework to use for front end, I just say, I mean for CSS, I just say, most of the time I use Tailwind because it makes everything look better on my side while coding. And also this is ESLint one. It's the one that is actually format our code, showing exactly where do we have errors, where we have written something not good, something like that. So we have actually to make sure that we drive everything well and organized during our development process. Alright, so on this part we will have to wait. So by the way, without actually slacking off, we exactly seen like a different step on how we have to create our Django application by making setup, installing dependence, setting configuration, create task model, serializer, view, URL routing, and also testing. We have actually passed through every single part that we needed to pass through during the creation or exactly our front-end part, where we also right now we are on installation part for the dependencies, but we also see about our API helper and also many layout that we will be using during exactly the creation of our application for the front end, and also how to make list and delete the task we have created, which is exactly our product, and how exactly do we make form, how do we make form, how do we handle the form, something like that. And the other part that we have to deal with is how exactly everything will be operating well. So we will not deal with something which is very huge. It is a small part, and also this small part can be able to give someone a step forward to create something very big, especially for the people who mostly works on the front end part. They know very well the problem they mostly have when they are designing things. They really make a stunning design, but when it comes to actually interacting with their own whereby exactly uh, providing the data which are dynamic that are coming from the backend, that cause a real huge problem. So on this part we will be actually looking, because we have created a backend which is really working very well, and here we'll create a front end and also make integration for it. And for this, here we can actually start on our part and see how exactly we can make our front end works well to the every part that we need. So right now, while we are waiting for our installation to be successful, so we have exactly here, as you see, we have our front end part, and in our front end part we have our app. This is where we will be having exactly our pages. This is our node module that we create our dependencies. This is our fabric that we hold our file, so we can exactly continue with the creation of our files that we will need, that also will assist us when we are creating everything that we have or we need to have here. So what do we need to do first? So first of all, I would like to start with API helper. This API helper, which is mostly known as most of the time, this centralized all API requests, so you don't repeat exactly the base URL everywhere. Most of the time we use this part to, because for this Axios it helps us to deal with this most of the part, to flex ourselves a little bit on in our code, and also make our things look more easier to be done here on this part. This Axios actually can avoid the repetitive of the URL we can use while we are accessing them in our project. So that's why we need to actually create it. So by this, let me go ahead and create our API helper. So here I will go on our front end and to API. No, I mean API, I mean lib. This lib exactly will be the one that will create our API.ts, and for this I will have first to create our API that we hold Axios. This Axios will be the one that we will create and have inside the API, the base URL that we need to have on our side. So, and this base URL we have exactly to make HTTP, because if you remember well, our raw core we have 27.0.0. Okay, .0. Let me return again to my VS Code to make sure that I still remember. Yes, this one, because I have to make a copy of this one, and I go back and I make sure that everything is set well. Yes, like this, and I close. So another thing, I have to make sure my Axios is installed. Okay, here I can see my application is successful set for the front end. So here I have to do npm install Axios to make sure that my Axios actually will be installed. And after Axios is being installed, what I have to do, I will have to import my Axios. So they are not giving me the suggestion, so I will do import Axios from Axios, just like this. So after importing my Axios, here I have accessed it, and I will do export to make sure that my API is being accessed anywhere that I want, because this package I need to make sure it will be accessed anywhere that I will want. So after this part, let us go and spice our things a little bit by creating our menu layout. So we will go to our app right here, and in our application, so let me first check how our background looks like. So here they say dev is not working, so which means I have exactly to go first do clear. Let me first see. So I have to make sure that I didn't mistaken something right here. Okay, here I have mistaken one part. Alright, I will do delete on this module because I have made a mistake. Alright, and then here I will go inside my full stack front end like this, and all I have to do is to make npm install Axios like this, because I made an installation in wrong place. Also guys, you have to make sure that you exactly know where you are making installation. Do not make mistake like this. Most of the time people they spoil things up without knowing exactly why they are facing with this kind of issues and why they are meeting with this kind of issues. So here we are good to go. We are good to go on this part. So after the installation of Axios, everything will be well made. Yes. So okay, while we are waiting for Axios to finalize the processing of its installation, so let's go a little bit and make our main layout. And for our main layout, we will find it here in our application, because you can see here that we have different port formatter, because here we are making a little bit of product. Let me just rename it product, because this one product API test. API integration with Django. API integration. Yeah, let me just say with Django. And here let me run my development, which will be npm run like this. And when I go back to test in my say localhost, this, so here is how my background looks like. So don't worry about this part. I think it is a hydration error. This one is not necessary. So this is how exactly most of the time I call this playground. So this is how it looks. Okay, so let me first go to my page and clean up this code, because I don't want exactly to see this kind of stuff right here. Let me go and clean everything that I don't need. So okay, and I want only just left with only empty like this. Okay, if I go back right here, I will find everything is empty. Nice. So here I will start by making my layout. So let's see here, my layout has like HTML body and child, but I want to make sure that I have a little bit design that will make everything looks good on layout while using layout. So okay, let me first clean this kind of things. There are things I don't even need right now. This kind of fonts, no, I don't need them. Don't really need them. Everything related to Google font right now, I don't need them. So alright, let me start by making class name, and this on class name I have to make a little bit design, so I will give it background of gray, which we have 100. So, and also mean height of screen, should give a minimum height of screen of full screen, and the font be sans. Yeah, fonts will be sans. So after this, inside my body I have to make a nav. This nav, we have class name, so of body white, shadow must be medium because I want a little bit shadow in my navigation. So, and pixel will be padding will be 4, and flex box, it will be flexing my data inside, and it will all be aligned center or between. Right now I mean to be all aligned between, which means it will not squeeze each other, it will repel each other a little bit. So and also another thing I will make is to make my items center, to make sure they are all aligned center. And after this I will make my name of my header, and this header I will just name it product. Let me just name it a random name, product manager, and I make sure I give this a class name. This class name, it will contain text. Yes, I want them to be extra large, and font to be bold, and also text I want it to be like blue, a little bit bluish color. So which means, okay, just put it like this. Nice. So another thing that I want to make right here, I want to make some links. So these links will exactly, one will go to my home page and another go to the form that will create my page. So on my part here, just make this task. Yeah, let me name it task like this. Okay, nice. So here I will make an anchor. This anchor will be having exactly the URL that I want. Some people they use anchor, other people use what they call link, like this link. So they are the one most of the time they use, but for me, link href like this. So normally this is how exactly you have to use this one, even in your Next.js. So actually this is how, but in my link I will have to do like different thing, but for now let me just use anchor on my side right now. Let me just use anchor, just not to confuse any people why there is this, why there is that. I don't want to make like a lot of things to mix people in their head, because I know people they used to excuse why don't we use anchor and whatever. Yeah, anchor also it works, but the best practical way to use while you are programming, you have to use link, because they are the one, that component are the one that is exactly needed for your Next.js. So you do gray 700 and hover, and you make a little bit hover because it will be having a link. This hover will be text bluish color again. Okay, so let me just duplicate them, and here I will name this home, and on the second part I will name this create task, and on this part I will add create, just like this. So after this, because I have the body, I'll make sure that everything inside the child, it will be in main, because our body must also have main. Okay, nice. Just just like this. If I return again, we will see we have this kind of, you see the task, which task manager, we have head of task manager, and have home, create task, something like this. So and then I want to make thing a little bit, so space x, I want to make it a little bit 3. Okay, make sure that they are separated a little bit, as you see right here. So okay, here we are good to go. This gives a sharp nav and file across all pages. So we haven't yet created all pages, but we only have the current one we are working on, which is this home page. So this home page was exactly, we have made our API helper that will exactly like make a list, make everything that we need. So we are going to be using that one to access everything that we need on our home page, like list of the data, and also see how exactly we can delete them, because how to see how to create them and how to delete them both. So let's make it right now. We will go to our page, which is a little bit empty, and in our page I have first to create a task. I want to make sure that I have tasks use state, because this one will be the one that will help me to hold the data. So tasks, and here have use state, and this use test we have exactly the array, and I want to make an interface. This interface will, okay, let me delete this one. This interface will hold exactly the type of the data I want, and I will need ID, which will be number, and also title, which will be string, and description, which will also be string, and created at, which will be, I think this one, when it comes, do we, no, it shouldn't be that, yeah, that, but this one will be like any, but it's better if I use any right here, because okay, that might come as string, might not come as string. It will depend on how the date comes exactly. So let me also import this use state, because I need to make sure it is imported, the use state. So here I will do import use state. So it will come from React, just like this. React use state, yes, use state, and I want to make sure that the exact data that this part will be taking, it will be taking a task, and this task will actually be getting an array. This is array of data that it will be holding. Alright, so here we have exactly made our use state, and I will have to make sure that I do fetch also, to fetch the the data that we need to access from our API. So on this part, we will have to do a constant fetch tasks. This will be async. So because here we need actually to access a dynamic data that might be changed in time with the request, and this we have a response of await API. This API, remember well where we are getting API get. So here I will just take products, just like this, products. And okay, so here I will just actually import my API like this, and products API, make sure that they are like this. Let me go again and see how I made this. Okay, nice. Here we are good to go. And we will try to we will also set our tasks. We will give this our data that we will be accessing from our API, and this data will be actually kept in our function. Will update our use state here, and to access exactly this data, we will make sure that we use effect, and this use effect, it will be the one that will help us. It will load first when the page is loaded. So we will do fetch tasks like this. But for me, okay, instead of this will confuse. If I continue to use a fetch task, this will make a big misunderstanding. Let me just use a product to make things more easy to be used. Okay, and here just do product. Alright, so this function will be called, and okay, this is good. So we have exactly made our fetch for the product. So now exactly we are going to see, will it provide us the data that we want, or it will not provide the data that we want. That is the first thing. Here they have said there is this expression part statement. Okay, so I see this to make sure that everything is really not providing some kind of error. Use state. Alright, here we have to use user client, because we are using use state. Use client, because we are not only providing a server-side rendering, we are also providing server-side rendering. Okay, now is there any other issue? No, there is none. Nice. So here exactly we have managed to make fetch of data, and let me just use console to see exactly if the data are coming. We do less dot data like this. Okay, just refresh. We have 2 error, so go to console. So there say hydration, and also API. There is some kind of connection refusing. The reason why my connection is refusing is because I didn't start my backend. So here I will have to do source.env python manage.py run server, just like this. And if I return and I refresh, okay, except for the hydration, so hydration mismatch. So let me first close this. Okay, here, okay, my data are coming. My data are coming the way I was expecting them to come. So which means everything is operating very well. There is nothing to worry about here on how data are fetching, so which means we are almost to a place where we want exactly to reach. So despite this, let's continue with like the whole operation. I've seen that everything is working, and okay, nice. So after this part, we have exactly to extract this data and show it to the user. Let me make a simple but a well designed format. Make it very quick. So here I must make it maximum 2, 3, and also I must give it header. This header will contain actually the name of the thing that I'm trying to show. So here I put text to cell font bold. It will be 4. Yes, okay, nice. So here I will come and let me just set a condition. This condition will just say if product here I'll just say okay, let me make it very simple. Just okay, let me change. Okay, it's okay. Let me make it task just like that. If tasks dot length, alright. So instead of calling this task, let me call it product. I want to make sure that they all have the same name without product. Yeah, I'll just say product like this. So let me first stop my environment because I don't need to see my laptop running really slow. So here, if my product length is equal to 0, so it means here I will not be having any kind of data to retrieve to the user. So on this part I will make sure that the only thing that I will display is that there is no products yet. We just say create one and just select this, and on this part I will give it a name. Just make sure everything is really made or designed well. Okay, and if they are not actually created, okay, here I will come and just say, because I want to make a list, an ordered list of the product, I just say class name, and I will just have space y equal to 4, and this class name we have li, this will be list. We have a class name, this class name we have big white, padding will be to 4, and also rounded will be equal to reg, shadow equal to flex, and we justify twin items go to center, just like this. Alright, so here we are exactly almost there, except for one thing we haven't yet done. We actually not mapping exactly. Here we have to extract the data from our array that we have. Actually it is in format of JSON. So here the way we do it, we go to have to again to just access our products, and then our products, in our product you just check everything. So product, okay, I just name it product, so I will do map. But here, to make sure that I do not mix things, let me just say products. Products. Yeah, products, just like this. So in our product, we will map this, and we will just take product, and in product we will exactly try to retrieve the data that we want. So here in our product, so we have to, it should be product, I just put an arrow, it should be not arrow, it should be like this. And, okay, so in our product we will actually make inside here the list, we have to put a div. This div as free will be having a head of 3. This head we have a name for our product, so which means product name, and also okay, let me just make it a little bit simple. So here I just put id title name, I just want to make here name. Alright, and created that. I don't really need this created that, but it's fine, let me just put it right there, name, and here I will just put product description, and then lastly let me just put date. I just created that just like this. Alright, so name, description, no, let me just use price. Oh yeah, I forget to put a price instead of how to use price like this. Okay, nice, price. So after this, what will I do next? Let me just make a little bit of design here to make sure that everything is really looking good. So I name it semi-bold text, large here and here. So we have to make text to gray 6, just like this, but for this one I want to make font be too bold. Yeah, like this. Okay, let me run and see what exactly I have so far. So if I go back and check, okay, you can see the background is a little bit not product yet. Alright, so even though my styling is not looking good, okay, let me try to, in my global.css, let me remove some of the background. I don't want to make background and colors like this. Let me just comment all of these things. I want to see how my, okay, this one looks good a little bit. So here we are actually displaying our data from the database, from our backend API, which means our things has exactly been successfully integrated with the way we wanted. So how can we make then, because I've seen how to retrieve the data, to access them, so how do we exactly delete our data? Let me just say we have accessed and then we want to see how delete. So it's a simple way, which is not actually that hard. The way we can delete our data, so let me go back to my scripts. The only thing we have to do here, let me just create another div, and on this div let me create a button. Okay, and I style this button a little bit. So this button, let me just give it a red color, reddish somehow, and just give it like 500, so it's a little bit not, and the text will be white, and also just make pixels 3 and pi of 1 and also button will be rounded, and here I will just name this delete, and maybe I can put some hover to make things a little bit good, and 500 like this. So let me just make this 6, make sure that there's a difference. So if I come here and I just hover, see there will be a difference somehow. Alright, so here this is how exactly we will be dealing with this delete. Let me go back to my script and show you how. We have to create an event handler, and this event handler, it will be called on click, like this on click. Actually this will be the one that will help us to deal with whenever we click on button, it will do some operation for us. So first of all, let's create our function that will delete our data. So here first we have our fetch function, and on this part I have to do a delete product, and this delete product it will be a sync, and here we have an ID of, we have it will be a number, and on this part we do await, because the delete, it will not need to send a lot of data. It's only to access the endpoint. And also put product here, products, and also we put the ID here. We will make sure it is in format. Okay, make sure that it is in format. Okay, nice. Here I put the ID on this part. Alright, and do not forget to put / because of the way you have to format your own data. This will be number. There was a mistake there. And after this I will do again fetch product, but it will be fetch product again, because my data will be updated and I will need to refresh again when I delete my product. So after this, how actually do we use our event handler on click? It will need to delete it by using only ID. So let's just dive deeper and you see exactly how this will move so far. So, cause on this part, after we have mentioned our delete product here, which will delete by ID, we will have again to check if exactly it will delete our ID. So we go back. Okay, let me just run my server again. Okay, nice. I run again right here. Okay, here you can see it's actually providing my ID, and when I do delete here, boom, our data will be deleted as I was expecting it. So now, how do we exactly create our form, and how do we handle form request? This is the next task. Here we have seen how to fetch and how to delete our data, and then right now we are going to see how exactly do we create our page. How do we use form to create our data to be put in our database exactly by integrating them. So on this part we will dive to our main app, and here I will just create my folder. I will name it create, and this create will have a page .tsx. I name it tsx because it's a page, and on this part I will have to name it like not like this. Sometimes we can use a shortcut to make things more easy, but for me I will just use this RFC function that will actually help me to bring up these all things that I need so far. And the next step that I have to do is to create my form. So without delay, let me just create the form real quick, because the form will not be needing a lot of things except for actually making a little bit design that I really want to make, and the other part is only where we will be dealing with exactly our integration. So let me finalize the design, and then I will continue with the integration well. So here I've created my input as I was expecting it. Let me give it a little bit bold because they seem to be not being seen well. So for this input I will just create border. We just give it border color to be gray, and all we'll be having like 300 like this one. So okay, nice. They are looking shabby. They are not looking really good. And I don't like to work on things which doesn't look really good. Okay, let me just give it a bit of width, and they will be rounded, and also I'll give it padding of 2. Focus, let me give it focus of outline to be none, and then focus ring to be 2. Let me just give it a little bit thing, even though I like to make design, but I need to reduce it a little bit. Yeah, let me just make it like as simple as this one, right? Nice. So we have a little bit looking good design here. Yeah, it is not bad actually, even though it is really simple, but it looks a little bit good than creating something which is not working, like looking good. So let's then go by exactly creating the way we will be posting our data. So first of all, we have to create our use state that will hold our name, description, and also price. So to do this, we will go here and we go by making name. This way we just use set name just to make sure that we made our use state for this, and here we make sure it is empty, sure that everything I just create here it is empty. Name here will be price, and here make sure it is description, and here it will be description. Okay, nice. They will all be empty just right now. And after creating these 3 use states, I will need actually to make sure that they are being accessed where they should belong to. So first of all, I will make sure that my use sets are being accessed in their own corresponding input, and this input they will have the value of that use state. Okay, right now let me write it right here. Say a value. Do you have this for this first input for name? Do you have value of name, which is this one I have here, and for the value for number, do you have value also of price, and the value for the description to also have a description, just like this. So this was the first step. So what do we need to do next on this? So the another thing we have to check on this is when we are handling with the way we will be sending data where we want them to be. And first of all, we will make sure that whenever there is a change we made, let me say here, okay, because we are using client side, I didn't mention it, use client. So okay, because here we are using exactly the name, price, and description, all right, we will actually make sure here we put on change. So here, because we need an event handler that we handle our data when they are being changed, and here we will just choose on change, and there will be actually data that will be being modified. We just set here. So here we just set name, and for this part we have actually e dot target dot value, just like this, because we want to target a value that we need to change. And here we put price, and we put here e dot target dot value, just like this, as simple as this. Here we put a description, and we put e dot target dot value, just like this. So everything must be set up the way it should be. And then next we have to make sure that our button also is created for the submission. Our button also must be created, so which means button, we have class name, and this class name will be having full screen, should be blue but with almost darkened somehow. Text, just make it white, and pixel 4 and pixel wide, and just give it like 2. If it will be rounded, it will be good. And hover, we have big background of blue, but this one I will give it like 9. This one will be perfect. And this button will be called create, just like this. Nice. So after this, I will come back here on our form, because form also need its own event to handle the submission of data. So the thing I will do on this part, I will have first to create the function that will handle the data, the submission of data. So it will be constant handle submit, be async. In this way we having the actual function will be doing with, and this will be a react form event, because we are dealing with the form events right now, because we want our event to be stated like this. And then on this part we have first to prevent default. We will first prevent the reload of the page after submission, and then what we are going to do, we do await API dot post, and on this I will just do my products on this part, and my product I will be submitting. Let me first actually import my API, this one, and here the thing I will be actually trying to post, it will be name, it will be price, and it will be description, just like this. The way actually it should be aligned with the same way we have in our database. So after this part, what do I need to do? Because I want to make sure whenever I'm done with the submission part, so I will be exactly go back to my I'll be going back to my route, the home page. But first, we have to check exactly the way I did async here. Okay, my event is well set, and the data the same. Everything is very good, and I'm missing something right here. So I have to make a navigation. So because I want to make sure that whenever I am done with the submission of data, I will go directly to I will go back to my home page. So here I will do router.push. This router.push, I will be pushing actually to the home page. I will need to return back to the home page. So after this, I will come back to my form and make sure that on submit exactly I will be having handle submit function like this. So let's go ahead and test our form right here. I can see that there is okay, we don't have any kind of error right now. We are good to go. Let's go and test our product. So for this part, maybe I can use one data and resources to test exactly over here. Let me just say gaming up top. Here I will go with the price. Let me just put 1499 and description here. Just high performance laptop for gaming and programming like this. And when I do create, boom, here we have done with the three part. So guys, thank you. This is how far I can go with this one. Last but not least, for the update, we will also see how we can make it. It is very simple. So I will do another session for the update of the API. We continue with this project we have done so far. And guys, I hope you would continue to enjoy this live session, and yes, we will add also another more detailed things how we can secure our API. Yeah, so far this is where I can actually stop by today, because I've already done with 3 hours of session, because this video should be taking almost longer, but I have to stop right here. So guys, thank you for being around and for being on this session. So when everything is ready for the upcoming hours, also another live session will be provided for this part. So thank you guys, and I hope that you will make your day more wonderful and more productive. Thank you. See you.